Hey guys, it's me, and usually I do this when I'm alone, but I normally seem to ramble to myself. Like, I have a full-blown conversation to myself. Like, I would ramble to myself about how the Thomas series has changed, or I rant about how I think about a certain video that I've recently watched. Or, in today's case, it's my opinions so far on Power Rangers Ninja Steel. Well, at first I don't usually know what to say, because at this point we're about 8 episodes into the first season, and... Okay, here's the thing. The reason why I don't usually do that many first impressions videos like some people, honestly, I don't really form an opinion unless I see some other person's opinion. Like, say, if I saw first that Linkara says in his eyes that Operation Overdrive is the worst Power Ranger season, and he explains why, then I would somehow agree with him. Or if someone counters that argument and say that there's a worse season of Power Rangers, then I would accept that opinion too. And in my eyes, I honestly don't think Overdrive is the worst season. Mainly because I haven't really seen much of Overdrive. Hell, I didn't even see Overdrive when it was on the air on Jetix. I never watched it at all until I've heard about it on the internet. I still haven't watched a single episode to this day. If people say that it's that bad, I mean, on par with Mega Force or Turbo or whatever, then I don't really consider watching it. Although at the moment, I don't think Overdrive is the worst season. I think Power Rangers Super Mega Force is. I mean, in my opinions of Super Mega Force, it has less of a story than Overdrive. Now, at least with Overdrive, there was more than one element in the story. Not just finding the missing pieces of the Corona Aurora, but, stuff with Tyson or, Mac as an android and stuff like that. With Megaforce, or Super Megaforce, it's just destroy the Armada. That's pretty much it. Now, I haven't seen anybody who expresses their opinions on Ninja Steel at this moment. I know there are some people who might have already have, like Mr. Weenie Productions or whoever, but I haven't watched his opinions on those episodes yet because, as I've said, we're only 8 episodes into the first season out of 2, and it's still too early to tell and to make a solid opinion on the season at this point. But, from what I've seen of Ninja Steel so far, I think that it's... I've honestly seen better. I mean, I honestly think that Dino Charge looks a bit better than Ninja Steel at the moment. I mean, I pretty much didn't have a solid opinion on Dino Charge when I first saw the first 8 episodes of that season. I mean, after watching Super Mega Force, my hopes were really, really low for Dino Charge. But after seeing the first few episodes, one of the immediate opinions that came into my head is that it's miles better than Super Mega Force by a landslide. I mean, it doesn't even... It's not like they're promising something grand and epic and then not bother to put it in like they did with the Legendary Rangers, or putting in every single Power Ranger team in there, like with Megaforce. And, yeah, Dino Charge, I didn't have a solid opinion at first, but near the end of Dino Supercharge, I kinda liked Dino Supercharge. I kinda liked the decisions that they made sometimes, like what they did with the Spinozord, and, how much more original stuff is in Dino Charge, like, the base of the villains is way different than the one in Koryuger. And not to mention the main villain was never featured in the Sentai. Sledge never had a Sentai counterpart. Kind of similar as to how there wasn't a Sentai equivalent of Emperor Grum. Yeah, Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge looked way better than Super Mega Force. But my first impressions on Ninja Steel, I don't really know what to make of it. But, I do have a few opinions on the series so far. The first one is that, Morty and Victor, if that's their names, they're trying to make them the new Bulk and Skull. Like, quite similar. But mostly, they're the comic relief, and they are just not funny at all. Anytime Victor and Morty were on screen, I just felt like skipping it and skipping to the fight scenes or to the next clip. I mean, I see that they're trying to make them the new Bulk and Skull, but they don't seem to have the same charm that Bulk and Skull had in my eyes. And they don't seem to have a similar goal in mind than Bulk and Skull. They're just trying to be better at everything than the Ninja Steel Rangers. Seem to be better at being the best in show, or better at dancing. But then their plans ultimately backfires. That's pretty much the basic staple of Victor and Morty's comedy. Slapstick, as it were. And it's just really not that funny to me. And another problem that I have in Ninja Steel, in my eyes at least, despite the season called Ninja Steel, I don't see very much ninja in the season so far. I mean, what's the basic premise of the season that we have? The basic headquarters for the Ninja Steel Rangers is this technologically advanced laboratory hidden somewhere in a high school with a robot psychic that has feelings and emotions. The main villain of the season is this long-running, unbeatable champion of this intergalactic game show, which is very similar to Robot Wars, but it's mainly about intergalactic alien warriors. They're trying to find the power of these objects that, from what I assume, were from another planet, and the Zords that the Rangers have consist of a giant robot, a dragon, a husky, a dump truck, a bullet train, an elephant, and a UFO. Yeah, where's the ninja in any of this? I don't see any ninja elements in there. I mean, a UFO Zord, intergalactic game show, robot sidekick? Where's the ninja? I mean, when I think the term ninja, I assume actual ninja training. I mean, I would have imagined that Ninja Steel would do the same kind of training that they had in Ninja Storm. Even though some of the elements in Ninja Storm were technologically based, like the Zords and the holographic training room, it was still ninja themed. They did ninja training, they learned some lessons that a ninja would learn, and not to mention, the Wind Ninja's mentor was classified as a sensei. He was a sensei. The Wind Ninja Academy. He was a sensei. Wind Ninjas. Thunder Ninjas. I don't see any ninja elements in Ninja Steel. Besides that elemental ninja star thing, they can harness power of the elements. Earth, fire, wind, water. Maybe not heart, but you know. Yeah, there's hardly any ninja training involved. They seem to rely more on technology rather than ninja training. Oh, and not to mention the recent Gold Ranger elements don't seem to help with the ninja name. I mean, the Gold Ranger, he is a combination of a ninja and a cowboy, but mostly the cowboy element. I mean, the Gold Ranger's helmet has a molded-in Stetson hat on it. His weapon is a ancient ninja electric guitar. I'll get to that in a minute. And not to mention, in the original Sentai season, Ninja, the Gold Ranger's morpher was a hamburger. Which honestly, I'm glad that they cut out of Power Rangers Ninja Steel and replaced it with the other morpher, because if they used a hamburger morpher, it would just look unbelievably silly, even by Power Ranger standards. I mean, I guess they're trying to take these seasons a bit more seriously than the Sentai version, like say how they handled RPM, or how they handled Turbo, taking a goofy concept and trying to make it a bit more serious. And not to mention the ninja electric guitar thing. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a reference to the weapon the Ninja Storm Samurai Ranger had, you know, Cam, the weapon he had, or if they didn't notice that it was a reference. Or if it's foreshadowing about the fact that next year is the 25th anniversary of the series, which I heard they might put in some well-known Rangers in there, but from what I can assume, it's just the Alien Rangers, which was based off a Ninja Sentai, and the Ninja Storm Rangers, and that's pretty much it. Mainly just to fit in with the ninja theme that Ninja Steel has, or lack thereof. And also, if you remember at the end of Dino Supercharge, where the Dino Rangers destroyed Sledge and his ship, and pretty much changed the events of time, at the very end of the season finale, we see that the meteorites never crash into the Earth and that they never kill the dinosaurs. And so the dinosaurs are still around in the modern day. They go back to the dinosaur museum where they usually hang out, and the place has turned into a dinosaur zoo where they pet dinosaurs. But in Ninja Steel, I don't see any dinosaurs in the setting of Ninja Steel so far. I mean, it's highly unlikely that they will do a crossover episode with the Dino Charge Rangers. I mean, I was kind of expecting a crossover with Dino Charge and Super Mega Force, with the fact of the Koryuger versus Go Buster crossover movie, where they also brought in Z-Ranger and Abba Ranger as well. I would have expected the Dino Thunder actors, along with the Super Mega Force actors, as the Mighty Morphin Rangers, but I guess they didn't do that, either for budgetary reasons, or because they would have never considered the concept. But I can't see a Ninja Steel or Dino Charge crossover anything anytime soon. Kinda like the Legendary Battle, or Clash of the Red Rangers. The Neo Saban production team do have the budget to do these crossovers, but they only seem to do it every so often, as opposed to every season like they did in the Disney era. Maybe it's because they don't seem to have enough money for production like in the Disney era, or they seem to rely more on Sentai footage than anything else to save money. But if there isn't going to be a crossover with Dino Charge and Ninja Steel, then it's really difficult to decide where Ninja Steel takes place. I mean, we had trouble figuring out how RPM fits into the timeline before Clash of the Red Rangers. We would have assumed that it was taken in the same universe as every single other season, and that everything is destroyed and Corinth is the only one remaining. But then Clash of the Red Rangers came along and it proved that RPM was from a different dimension, so we don't have to worry about continuity. Some people are speculating if Dino Charge takes place in another alternate dimension, or if it takes place in the same canon universe as Super Mega Force. And the same thing is applying to Ninja Steel. Is that taking place in another dimension, or in the same universe? That's pretty much what you have to consider with every single new season. You have to wonder thanks to RPM, if it's taking place in another dimension, or alternate universe, or it's in the same universe. Yeah, that's what alternate continuities do to a show like this. So, those are my general opinions on Ninja Steel at the top of my head at the moment. I do plan to watch the rest of Ninja Steel, mainly because of the 25th anniversary coming next year. I'm kind of curious as to what they'll do. If they'll do anything to the extent of Megaforce, with featuring loads of legendary rangers, or if they're just gonna do something similar to Once a Ranger, where there's a few legendary rangers in a crossover episode. But I'll see what they're gonna do, and let's just hope that Ninja Steel gets the tiniest bit better later on. Maybe my opinions will change, but we'll have to wait and see. So, see you later.